Hey guys, Mike here. So, but what a day in the market. All the indexes up over 1%. So in today's video, we're going to look at the list of things to watch. You watch these things, you pretty much know what's going to be happening in the market, that's for sure. We'll go through and see the key levels that were broke today and what needs to happen tomorrow. Also, some stocks that are some up big, some are actually red today, believe it or not, for key reasons, and also others to watch out for big breakouts that they might be forming as well here. So remember, no news this week that's going to shift the markets. Two, no mega cap earnings. Okay, we do have a boatload of earnings, which we'll look at and stuff like that. But you do have Fed speakers. Be warned, I believe the most hawkish one's going to come out and speak tomorrow. And so last time he spoke, I believe he put the market in a tailspin. It gave back a lot of gains, and as much as it's up over the last couple of days, that would not surprise me, right? To make that move down, grab some liquidity before moving up again. And so again, we'll go into the levels to watch on that. And there'll be a boatload of them speaking this week, so we'll see what narrative they're trying to paint. I do believe they are told somewhat what to say or what narrative they want to paint as a group and everything. But again, we'll see on that one. But the things to watch are simply this. Watch your RSP, watch your QQEW. What were they? They were green today, okay? Dollar sitting there flat to red. 10-year yields, really all that matters when the yields. That was red today. Again, HYG green. And so you watch these right here, and if you see your yields are basically red or flat, and you see your dollars flat or green, kind of lets the markets know, hey, I think we can take off, right? And especially if you see breadth from your equal weighted ETFs. All right, going green. I believe actually these closed out like 0.75% if I'm not mistaken. Now, when you look at the S&P right here, you can see another gap up day. That's 2 in a row right there. Again, the top of this channel is going to be at a key level around 5,200. You can see that's acted as resistance for sure. Right at the top of that channel, we did break over the 50 moving average. So that is a plus right there. Again, the market needs to do what? It has to absorb this big move up, okay? Because you can look in that channel, you can see multiple times where we gapped up, gapped down, and closed all those gaps. All right, so again, we'll see. Doesn't mean a gap up has the fill, but if we hit the top of that channel, you would think there's going to be a move back down. But again, we look at the stochastic RSI. When we looked at it and we pulled up that weekly, we said, what are we having, right? We were having a bullish cross on the weekly right there. When that happens, normally you get a longer move. It is not straight up or anything like that, but if it is a true bullish stochastic RSI cross, you get a decent move up over a longer period of time. And so again, we'll see if that's going to carry out or not. Looking at it, I mean, there's no earnings going to derail it, no news most likely, but I believe if we do end up finally going to the top of that channel this week, I think we're going to come down and actually fill some of these gaps, honestly. But, you know, we'll see if they want to hit the top of the channel first or move back down first before moving up. Like I said, you can see these gaps down here, filling and things like that. And so, you know, we'll see. Again, the breadth is going to be the key to this. And when you look over at IWM, another big day for this one. Obviously, it got above all its moving averages now. So it got above that 50. When you look, nice 7% move up in a very short amount of time, all right? And of course, where are they talking now? Oh, there's going to be some rate cuts at the end of the year now, right? But when you look at the levels to watch 205.58. Above that's 210. And we decided to move down 200. And before that, around 202.08, which is the 50 moving average. If this decides to sell back down a little bit. Now, Nvidia, you know, it's easy for the market to go up when the king itself is moving up, right? Big, huge day. You can see another gap up for this one as well. And you can see, you know, those blue lines we put in here a long time ago. Again, pull up the hourly, you can just pull these across yourself, and that's basically what's happening. It's gapping up to the level, and it's stopping, right? It's gapping up and running. End of the day, it stops. Next day, it's gapping up again, run to that level, stopping. You can see it right there 3 times in a row. And then again, gapped up again, went up to another level. And so, you know, this one right here, that's a huge move. I mean, going from what, 750 to 925, I believe it was a day. And so there's your level right there. Again, right above that, not very far away, is actually all-time highs. And so basically what are they doing? They're running this up for earnings. It doesn't report for at least like, what, 14 more days. But that's what they did the last 2 earnings. They ran it up before earnings. And so we'll see if that's what they're going to continue to try to do and stuff. And of course, you know, when we go out and look at this, what's interesting to see, you know, you can see it's in this short-term channel right here. All right, we go to a 15-minute chart, and then we pull up the fibs. It's basically just going from one major fib level to the next. When we draw this from where it started to move up to the high and stuff. And so it's respecting the fib levels. It's respecting this channel right now. We'll see how long it can actually stay in this channel if they're going to hit the top. before maybe coming back down to the bottom, or it's actually going to just completely break out and try to run this thing into 1,000. That's what we really got to see. And if it hits 1,000 for earnings, that's going to be absolutely crazy. But let me know on the bottom what you think as far as what this is going to do. And of course, with it moving, what else is it doing? It's bringing up all the other semis, right? The major ones: Taiwan Semiconductors, Qualcomm, MU, AMD, right? And when you look at AMD, this is approaching, or did approach today, this trend line again, right, where it's been rejected multiple times. Okay, so will it come back down and hit the 200? Probably did. To see that happen, you might have to have a little weakness in Nvidia, but it'd be nice because that right there is a ton of confluence with all those anchor VWAPs, support, the 200 moving average. Again, though, if Nvidia keeps just rallying like crazy, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna most likely bring up all the semis. Now, look at Apple. It was red on the day. What did it do? It came down, tested the 200 and the 100 moving average. That's what saved it from falling even further down. Again, right below that, you got 178, 180 right there, that area, which was support. Then it turned into resistance. Now it'll be nice to actually retest that to do a resistance support flip right there. But it was down for good reason, and you can tell it should have probably been down way farther than this. But again, it's Apple, right? I mean, you get this big gap up on earnings and stuff. But what happened was, when you look at this, is it came out this weekend. Buffett's holding record cash, we know that, but he sells Apple about 13% of Apple. So if that would have came out for earnings, Apple most likely would have been beaten down even further. Again, it says their largest position. They hold just millions and millions of shares of Apple. But again, 13% is a big chunk of the stock, and Tim Cook showed up and everything to try to make it look all great or whatever. But again, we'll see if that one's going to continue to show weakness or start to bounce. Meta, this one right here is just an unbelievable recovery. I mean, we should have known it was coming, but you can see continues to move up, continues to start closing that gap quite a bit now. And again, if you don't ever use ETH, look at it. When you bring up extended trading hours on this, you can see it came down. It basically closed. That actually was an RTH gap. You can't see it on ETH, but then it hit that trend line. So it closed the gap, hit that trend line and support. That's where the bounce came from. If you're just on regular trading hours, you can't see that. You're thinking, well, it never came down and touched that trend line. Yes, it did. That's why it got such a great bounce. All right, and that's why it continues to recover, because a lot of firms believe this is still an undervalued stock. It's one of the only companies I can think of, by the way. It don't need people, right? I mean, honestly, it's a social media site. So you got a CEO, CFOs, and vice presidents, some techie guys, and you're good to go. So that's the one thing about Meta that's very interesting. So now Boeing, you might notice, fell off a cliff right around 3 o'clock right there. Of course, once again, what happens? Here comes another investigation. So you're going to have FAA opens new investigation into Boeing about something to do with the 787 Dreamliner, with the people falsifying records and all that good stuff. So we'll see if it recovers again. Again, this megaphone pattern is still holding. It's been up 13% since it hit it. Support, megaphone pattern, good confluence. So this continues to bounce. It's running to resistance now around 177, 178. 196 will be another level of resistance. And I will say I totally agree with Elon Musk on this one. What a waste of taxpayer dollars. He's like, Boeing gets $4.2 billion to develop an astronaut space capsule. SpaceX got $2.6 billion and finished 7 years faster. Too many non-technical managers at Boeing. I don't know what that part of it, but I just hate seeing taxpayer dollars wasted. Heck, give it to Elon Space Company. They can do it better and faster. That's how it should work. Unfortunately, since our politicians are bribed beyond belief by Boeing and a lot of these other defense contractors, that will not be the case. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think SpaceX does a much better job than all the rest of those companies when it comes to that stuff. Now, watch Disney. It'll be reporting tomorrow. It's come down the bottom of this channel. It's got its bounce like it should. Again, this one, after it bounces that long-term trend line after 2 earnings ago, has just been doing really well. It sat here and came down, hit support, bounce. So we'll see if it continues to move up in this channel right here. Let me know in the comments how you think this one's going to report tomorrow, and if this move is just going to continue to move up. Shopify, watch this one. It's going to report earnings this week as well, but it did negate that head and shoulders. It got above that neckline right there, as you can see. And so this one could continue to move up. The big thing on this one, I always tell you, is just, whether it's earnings that puts it by it or whatever, but watch the MACD line. Again, we'll pull that up, and you can see when it gets above the 0 line, that really is the key when it comes to Shopify, okay, because it'll take off. And again, it could be earnings that just drives it right above that. But when this comes up, that's when it usually explodes. And this one's just been doing nothing but moving down since the last earnings and then consolidating. So again, used to be just a high flyer. We'll see if we can get back on the move here and start heading back up towards that 90 all-time high, as you can see. And so we'll see on that one. Be careful, because if it hits the downside skitters, and it can definitely move down fast. Snow, watch it. It ran to the 50-day moving average, which was a brick wall for this one today. I mean, and just look at the decimation of this stock in such a short amount of time. I mean, since February, this thing has dropped 38%. I'm assuming Warren Buffett is still in this stock, by the way. But when you look at the 4 hour, you can see the 200 right above, and then there's the 100. The 200 would definitely be resistance for this stock. But when you look at the 4 hour, that was like an inverse head and shoulders to me. And so, if this inverse head and shoulders actually plays out, that'll put it somewhere in the neighborhood of 177, which again, you're going to hit the 200 before that, around 171, 172-ish. It's a moving average, so it's constantly moving. But if this can continue to move up, which has had a decent move up off that bottom trend line right there, then you can see it doesn't report earnings for quite a while. And speaking of earnings, you see we got Walt Disney, Celsius, Datadog, Crocs, Nikola, BP. Can't believe Nikola's still in business. Then you got Rivian, Upstart, Wynn, Lyft. I definitely want to hear what Lyft has to say about Tesla's tax cab system, Oxy, and Twilio, however you like to say it. And we have no news tomorrow. Again, it's only the Fed speaker you need to watch for tomorrow. And if you see the market go red, most likely he probably said something about no rate cuts this year and inflation being disappointing. He's a pretty hawkish guy, so we'll see if that's going to be the case or not. Again, let me know on the bottom what you think about earnings and stuff. At some point in time, we have to digest this move, come back down. I like to come back down and test the bottom of that channel before moving back up, or at least test the 50 before moving back up. That will be nice and a lot more healthier for the market, because again, I think, what are we, 1.2% away from all-time highs now or something? I mean, it's not very far, it seems like, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. But again, hope you guys got something out of it. Hit that like and subscribe button if you did. Really appreciate it, guys. Feel free to sign up for the membership and stuff. You can like daily market updates, 2 private members videos, and a private Discord. So have a good one, guys.